Hi, I'd like to take this opportunity to demonstrate Alovis's SLM measuring system. We have two parallel sensor bars. One is a series of light sources, the other is light sensors. They would be mounted on either side of a conveyor belt typically. We need to, upon physically mounting the sensors, calibrate the system to adjust the intensity of the light source for that particular geometry. And now we can measure some parts. I'm going to select a part that has a length associated with one of our samples here with a tolerance of plus or minus 2 millimeters. I'm going to load that part in and go back to the main screen. So my target length is 558.6. I'm going to take this piece that's been provided by the customer, and what triggers the measuring process is when the end of the part enters the array. When that event happens, I'd like to be moving at a fairly consistent velocity, which would be handled easily by a conveyor belt. So, moving, and I do a measurement. Moving, and I do a measurement. So, let's look up here at the screen and see what we're getting here. I've got a measurement of 558.71. I'm going to run another one, 558.616. Let me do that part again. 558.662. So it's fairly repeatable. We're down into the tenths, if not hundredths, of a millimeter. Now, one of the problems with repeatability with this particular part is the array is being disrupted by two leading edges and two trailing edges. So it's going to measure the longest of those pairs. So if I had it on a slight angle, it would measure from this leading edge to this trailing edge, and it will end up being much longer. Let's see if I can make that happen as a fact. So I run it through twice, and it's come out 564 instead of 558. So with this orientation, it appears to the system to be longer. We could clean that up a little bit by sending the part through in a way that it only exposes one leading edge and one trailing edge to the sensor. So I'm going to turn it a different way and send it through and see if that makes a difference. And I've got 557.4, 5573, 5573, 5573. So it is more consistent, and it is shorter because it is just that lead edge and trailing edge, not the longer of two leading edges and two trailing edges. So true to form on this. All right. So I'm going to now try the part that my customer labeled priority, number one priority. So let's see what happens when I send this through. This has the same issue of potentially two leading edges and two trailing edges if I if I send it through this way, and I see a length of 500.59, 500.56, pretty consistent, but still that issue of two edges. So now I'll spin it around and send it through a way where I only get one leading edge and one trailing edge. 49888, 49888, 49889. So pretty repeatable, and a little bit shorter when we're dealing with just one leading edge, one trailing edge. So you need to keep that geometry in mind as you send it through. I'm going to look at a sample that is clear. This may not work so well. Our light source may get to the sensor through this material. So let's give it a try. Twice, and I am not detecting that. So this is not disrupting the light source. This particular sample would be a challenge for our measuring system. Going to look at another sample here, 1976. Again, one leading edge, one trailing edge. .22, 575.22, 575.22, 575.23. Pretty good repeatability on that. Yep. Here's another material that looks pretty clear. It's a little bit milky. Let's see how it behaves. I'm getting a reading off it, 535.44, 535.44. Oh, I had a false reading there. I think it just read my hand. Yeah, I think this is not consistent in its ability to block the light. So I had some bad readings and then a pair of pretty repeatable lengths. The 535.5, no reading there. 70, obviously a false reading there. So again, these clear materials might not work so well with the light source and light sensor. We may be able to fiddle around with the intensity of the light to work on that. But anything with this milky look, not a problem. Got a good reading on that. The white, definitely not a problem there. Good reading on that. Oh, that one I had a problem with, but that might have been that I didn't have it. Okay, so got a lot of other samples here. I might run the rest of these and see if there's any issues with them. But I think the ones that are not clear are definitely behaving well. And your priority one, it looks good. So enjoy.